So right now I'll explain why most of the peoples are rejected in the low level coding design rounds and how you can escape this hell of low level design by making your code better. So here is the problem statement. I'm not doing the shit ton of logic and shit ton of explanation and making the program better. I'm just going to give you one minute example how you are going to be judged. So let's say you have order management. Now, in low level design, people forcefully try to add interfaces, design pattern and these stuffs. I'll tell you this is the wrong way to address the problem. What you need to do is how you can explain your functionalities. This is order management. So what it should do? Add the order, what it can do? Cancel the order and delete the order. Now, when you try to dig deeper into this functionality, adding the order involves three things like what will be the order object, what it contains actually, and what are the validations. Let's say the order should not have the ID empty, and this is where it get interesting. Now you have the chance to show your system design skill, which are low level design skill. So how you can do that? Validations, can you make it configurable? So what do you mean by configurable? Can you make this system as plug and play? Let's say this is order for the food items. Then you will plug the different validator which is food validator, which has the rule to validate the food related objects validation. Now if the object belongs to the electronic items, now electronic items have different things like model ID, then its base price and the variants and etc etc. For this you will use electronic data validator. So this way if you think the design patterns will unfold themselves for the problem you're trying to solve. So now you have solution like this what you can propose to your interviewer and he will kind of agree. You are not showing the design pattern in your problem, they are just revealing themselves. So what you will do, you have order, now you have validator I validator interface. This is the interface. Now this interface has the actual class implementation which are food validator, and then you have another class which is electronic validator. As I've suggested earlier, this validator is going to have some validate and it will get the order and it will validate, and in return it will give true or false, that is boolean. So you might have guessed how it will unfold. For this will be implemented differently and it return it will give true or false. This will also implement the validate. Now you have understood why the interfaces are important. Interfaces are going to make your system decoupled from actual implementation, and this is the strategy design pattern. So do you think when I started I talked about strategy design pattern? No, it just unfolded. So how as a senior programmer I am going to do the job? What I'll do? I will make this public interface here. Validator, and this will have the validate class. And it is going to do shit ton of things for this object, and it return it will be giving the true or false value. So right now because I am just declaring, I'll be putting it over here as it is. I'll also need to create this class order, and when you're doing this with your interviewer you need to start explaining side by side just the way I'm doing it right now. Create quickly the constructor also for this. Remember, you don't need to do the hard things, you just need to do the basic things because in 1 hour they don't expect you to make entire app. You just need to prove that you know the design patterns, you know how to write the clean code, and the basic rules for this is you talk through the functionality, then the design patterns will unfold themselves. Let me try to make it in the same file. Okay, here it works. Now next thing is I will try to derive the implementation for this. Okay, this gets interesting. We are completing this. Maybe we'll need to move it to the other class. Let's see how it goes. Yeah. So Java is famous for making things in the separate file and that stuff. All this circus you need to do. Okay. This was another mistake. Yeah, here we go. We don't need this for now. I'll just comment it. And I'll also rename this. Let it be. Now, as I've implemented the interface, now here comes the interesting part. We will keep the public. I will make one class order manager. Okay, it will have the basic functionality public. I will give the order object in return, or for now I just make it create order. I'll quickly run through this process. Now, a good programmer will always have the good logs. You should have good logs. For now, I'm just commenting. You should have telemetry. Remember what I tell always in the interview, don't tightly couple. So tightly couple meaning don't use classes, communicate by interfaces. So this is how I'll be showing you the demo. Now, as you've got, what you will do, you will make the food validator. How I'm going to do it? Class food validator implements validator. This is enough to prove that you have day in day out life. You have used the interfaces, you have used everything, and you are a confident person who knows the data structure, who knows the design patterns. So add the unimplemented method. I have implemented, and now what I'll do, I'll just simply throw return true. Point is, I need to prove that we are using low level design in a good manner where we could prove that we know the skill. Now over here, I will say if now this order manager will have the interface. The interface will be, I'll make it iValidator so that they know that this is the interface. iValidator. Okay. While making it, I'll make sure that we know that which validator they are using. We'll set the setter, public void set validator. Why? Because we need to set the proper validator to this iValidator. So why I'm passing the interface here? Because I'm not trying to bind it to the specific implementation. So any validator come in here and it will be added. This dot validator equal to validator. Now that I'm using many languages altogether, few things here and there, but I'll stick to the Java conventions and code patterns. Now you have the validator, which is not tightly coupled. You can pass anything and it will change. Now I'll say if this dot validator dot validate this order, if the object is okay, then only I will create the object. And because I'm creating the object for now, I will make one list of order where the valid orders will be added. Now set order will be over here, set orders, it will have the list of order and orders. Now you are creating this and you are making one structure where you are going to add these items. Okay, this is the holder where you will be putting the list of orders. Over here you are going to, because it will be passed from the external class, and I'm going to put this whatever passed the actual array list will be given to this class member, which is orders. Now that we are done with this, we are going to use this dot orders dot add the current order, and we're good. So this is the lowest thinnest slice that I've shown how you can go about the low level design. Do not jump into interfaces, do not jump into design patterns, go through the functionality and then the design patterns will unveil themselves. And this is how you talk through the problem and then come towards the solution. Now what I'll do, I'll make the order manager instance. How many things it needs to be set up? Order manager dot set orders. It will need set orders. What I did, set validator and set order. It should come up. Yes, set validator. I will be making one validator. I'll say this is the food validator I'll be creating. Food validator equal to new food validator. Once it is created, you pass it here. For better thing, we will be creating the reference, but we are using the object of this. So this is the reference, this is interface, but we are instantiating and we're passing here. Now that it has the interface, it will also need the list where it will create the, or it will hold those instances which are passed. Set orders will have new array list of order. We are now ready for executing this function. Order manager dot create order. I'll be creating one instance. I'll be putting this item, what order I need, and I'll be giving the pizza. Okay. For now, I am not going to validate what is the instance of this, and then I'll be defining by this. For that part, let's say order is type of food, order is type of electronics, and applying the different validator on top of it. This part I'll be covering in the next part. Please share and subscribe, and do follow this channel so that I'll release the next part. So this is the next part which will explain you how I'm going to expand this example, and so that you will not hesitate from applying to the jobs and crack this easy part of low level designs. Most of the people are good at system design, especially the fresher folks, but they fumble when the time comes for the low level design interviews. And low level design gets you when you become kind of senior. But I have some hacks that I'll share so that you will shine through this and you will definitely get your offer. Here you go, hello pizza. Okay, please share and subscribe, and I'll share you the next part. Thank you.